I can do 60 kilo chin-ups. I can do, around the same amount on pull-ups. But if I say to myself, I'm going to do a set of 20 bodyweight pull-ups with a wide grip, it exhausts me as much as the weighted pull-up or chin-up. When I'm like trying to get my chest to bar, I'm using like a 3 to 5 second eccentric. I'm pausing for a second or two at the bottom. You'd be surprised how you can make this stuff supremely difficult. And if you're still not sold on the calisthenics stuff, put the bodyweight exercise as your second, third, or fourth exercise in your workout. And the pre-fatigue that you've done from your weighted exercise is going to put you in a state to be challenged from any calisthenics movement.
Well, that's basically what I do on wide grip pull-ups or if I'm going behind the neck.
We've been doing this calisthenics stuff for a decade plus.
Right.
And we still find the fundamental movements in horizontal and vertical pressing and pulling with just body weight difficult. Using tempo, deep range of motion, pausing at the bottom, using rings for certain exercises.
The variations are endless. We've shown them multiple times, but this idea that you need to be performing one-arm pull-ups for reps or one-arm handstand push-ups or, explosive, like alternating one-arm push-ups and one-arm pelican curls and I don't know what's going through people's heads, but that's the furthest thing from necessary. And in fact, you're a lean guy, I believe at 6'1" in height. I'm a shorter guy, so who has a pretty good build for calisthenics. I struggle with it, whether I'm shredded or bulked up. There's no one on the planet, I know that's an extreme statement to make, there's nobody who's too good for basic calisthenics. No one. As long as you have tempo and intensity strategies and you know how to make basic modifications to the form, it can be as difficult as you want it to be. And we know the hypertrophy rep range can be extended.
A lot of it is ego associated with trying to maximize performance. So when people are doing these calisthenics movements, they're trying to do at least 10 reps or whatever it is on a pull-up or a dip. But then as you get more advanced, you have to change your mindset to make it as difficult as possible if you're coming at this through a muscle building hypertrophy lens.
You're saying doing 20 wide grip pull-ups very casually, but people don't understand how difficult that is. Just to say, that's what Franco Colombo was doing. 5'5", 185 pounds, and he won the Mr. Olympia. So I think that says everything. If he did not need to use weights, and again, you can use some of these motions towards the end of your workout when you are pre-fatigued, then why do you think you need to overload? Do you really think you're better than all these people? Chances are you can get a lot more out of your body weight. See, with lifting, we talk about getting more out of less weight. With calisthenics, get more out of your body weight.
A legend from the past, Franco Colombo. What can we learn from these old school bodybuilders from the silver and golden era?
Well, first of all the silver era bodybuilders did heavy weighted dips and weighted pull-ups, no exceptions. In fact, through their decades of experience, they concluded that the wide grip chin is what they called it, which is basically a pronated pull-up, was the best back exercise of all time.
But what about the lat pull down? What about the cross-body new optimal exercise, Alex? I don't know about that.
They all said the same thing. And I'll tell you, Daniel, I started doing that exercise in 2022, and it's become my staple ever since. My back has already, it was already a dominant body part, and now it's even freakier. I think I have a world-class V-taper, as do you, in my opinion. You have a sick back, and it's no coincidence that we can both do a lot of repetitions on that extreme variation because the arms are directly out to the side. It's like being pulled apart by medieval horses. It is so intense, the stretch that you get, and you're just getting that pure shoulder adduction in the frontal plane, that it's all lats. And so results talk. They figured this out a long time ago. Leroy Colbert, the first man in the world to build 21-inch arms, drug-free. He was in his 70s making YouTube videos, still jacked, and he said, we tried it all. And the wide grip chin is unbeatable. And you know what? After doing the same thing, after not giving it a shot, because a lot of people were saying you want to go narrow for lats, listen, it got great results. But I have to agree. And you know what? The biomechanics trend has shifted in the other direction because in 2022, people were saying that using a wide grip was a teres major pull down or an upper back pull down, right? They were applying this logic to any pull down in the frontal plane, saying that you had to do sagittal with a narrow grip. And it turns out that they were wrong. They changed your position. It does in fact build the lower lats when you use a wide grip like that. So it seems to me like the old school greats had it figured out in terms of building the back. And then when we talk about the weighted dip, I mean, look at Marvin Eder, the 500-pound dip. People thought he was lying, but we're seeing that with street lifters today. So if anything, it's street lifters who are coming out with these bodybuilder level physiques who are proving that what the silver era guys did back then was brutally effective. And I will say that the silver era bodybuilders had a lot more muscle, specifically in their chests and lats, compared to the bronze era bodybuilders. And we can attribute that to the bench press, the pull-up, and the weighted dip. As far as the golden era bodybuilders, they trained the same way, just that they were enhanced. And in fact, Arnold even said that before beginning a workout that was for back, you had to start with 50 pull-ups. So we're talking about enhanced bodybuilders weighing over 200 pounds that just their warm-up is 50 pull-ups. And dips were commonly performed with men hanging on to their legs. And so these have always been staples. I would say those are probably the two most hypertrophic movements you could think of in which you're moving through space. And they are in fact stable, contrary to new popular-ish belief in a niche circle. They have tremendous progression potential. They maximize the weighted stretch. They're unbeatable. So pull-ups and dips, if you just did that, weighted and got stronger, and you threw in a little bit of accessories, you'd be amazed at how fast your physique transforms and what you can look like in the long run. So those are some basic lessons.
And a benefit that those from the old era had was just simplicity. They didn't have as many machines and options of exercise. So they had, okay, a pull-up and a dip. I'm going to put everything into these movements and stick to them long term. Whereas this existing generation, it's like, oh, what happens if I jump on a machine and do a chest press or a machine dip and then I isolate with this? And it just takes you away from these key movements that have so much potential for strength and growth. That's where if you're listening to this, having this understanding, you can't run away from the basic hard stuff.
When we talk about moving your body through space, it has greater carryover to the machine stuff, but the machine work will not carry over to the calisthenics. That's the difference. Do you want both or not? I certainly do. I want to be a hybrid athlete in this way. But obviously, if your goal was pure hypertrophy, you don't have to do this. But my point is, you'll end up in the same spot, muscular-wise, but you're missing out on all these other performance benefits and learning how to coordinate through space, the skill acquisition.
You're preaching to the choir here. Most people listening want that strength. They want that size. It just comes down to that it's harder. Like sometimes you just go in, you're like, oh, just hopping on that machine. I'm still going to hit my chest and shoulders and triceps. I'm just going to do that. But you don't want that mentality to bleed in for too long and get too complacent. If you want this well-rounded physique that is strong and has size as well. If you enjoyed that, click here for the full fitness FAQs video. Peace.